Nathi. You can do it alright, that's right. The future is bright, alright. You can do it alright, that's right. Yeah, future's so bright. Hey, so Geleza Nathi. Geleza Nathi.
Hey, it's finally Monday morning and it's time for you to get your fresh dose of edutainment after that awesome weekend. And you guys know what's namhlanje, it is M Day, which means it's Mbuyi and the Math Sangoma's Monday, Mad Mathematics Monday just for you. And you guys know what's on Mondays, my name is Meadow, just so that I can join into the crew and I don't feel left out. But right now it's time for me to just let you guys know, you know what, I'm never ever chill alone, and that's why I'm chilling here with the forever Chuck Skinny boy. Boy,
welcome to the madness, Meadow. How are you, Meadow?
I'm good, hey? I just love saying your name, boy.
I love saying Meadow. Like, I think it should actually be not Edo, but Meadow. And how was the weekend?
Oh, it was awesome.
I can see you fresh. People sleep during weekend. I don't know what am I doing wrong. They're at home. Tell me what am I doing wrong, because I don't look fresh. Hit us up on Twitter at GN_SABC1 and also on Facebook, which is Geleza Nathi.
Now, Umbuyi unamanga. He knows that he's always looking fresh. And you know what else is fresh? Today's lineup. So check this out.
Well, since Patele the Math Sangoma right here in studio, and news over focus at cubic functions.
And then Mbuyi and the GN clan will be talking about how to integrate people living with disabilities into the community.
And me, forever Chuck Skinny Boy, being la pake area rabe to secondary in Kutlanong, and welcome is time to learn. Something fun winning Ben was so Geleza Nathi.
Yes, please come and join us, Konalana, as we make sure that we study with style. And we can do that with the one and only Math Sangoma in the land. I'm talking about Mr. Mark Phillips. What do the bones say today, Mark?
Hey, Dumela, everybody. Dumalang, you know, the whole Katoot, San Bonani, Mzansi. It's a magnificent Monday. We're going to be definitely doing cubic functions. So you're going to get some coffee. You're going to join me. And this is for 15 marks out of 150. Yeah, gotta be with the Sangoma today.
They have to be. There's no other place to be if you want those 15 marks. And you know, good, if you're chilling with the Math Sangoma, then there's no ways that you'll get 14 and a half. You will get 15. But right now, it's time for me to meet also these really lovely ladies that I'm chilling with. I'm so excited to speak to you guys, yes. How are you doing, ladies?
Oh, good.
Are you good?
Yes.
Okay, well, I want to know a little bit about you. What's your name? Tell me about yourself.
My name is Ashley Masego. I'm a commercial student. I'm to die for economics. I love learning about the economy and new things all the time.
Serious! So it's good that you're here because you also need numbers and mathematics, so you must be good with that as well. Okay,
My name is Sundani. I'm in grade 11. And I really enjoy doing accounting.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys can see numbers are flying namhlanje. We're talking economics, we're talking accounting, and of course we're talking maths with the Math Sangoma. But right now it's time for us to go check out Kuti. Hey, where is our GN tour bus right at? Well, let's check this out.
First things first, with the relays, Geleza Nathi is taking over. Welcome to Area to High School. Uyaz Moloti Fontaine. I'm so excited. Uhlangana nabafundi balaphakathi. Uyazi ukuthi le skola ompetha kulento abayenzayo. That's why thina Geleza Nathi sila sizozibandakanya namhlanje. Interesting games will be played. If usathathekile, hit a young for because sokutshela ukuthi game sobe sidlala namhlanje futhi ne subject sobe siyenza ukuthi yini, but without wasting any time, asikene niphakathi sike sihlonipheni, sike sibulise sithi ninjani. Ngenani.
So Nizula Bafetu, after the ad break, Mbuyi will be talking about integrating people living with disabilities into the community. But right now, let's go for a quick ad break, and after that, we'll talk with the GN clan and see what they have to say about this topic.
Geleza Nathi. Geleza Nathi.
Oh yeah, Bafetu, we are back right here on Geleza Nathi, and it's time for us to get things started. So it's time, let's hear what the GN clan have to say about the topic that we're talking about today. Mbuyi, over to you.
Yeah, well, yes, topic here today, it's integrating people who are living with disabilities into our communities. Before getting with the GN clan right here in studio, let's check out the feature for today.
Today we are out and about, and what's basically happening is that I've got myself a wheelchair, and I thought to myself, well, you know what, let me spend a day in the life of someone living with a disability and someone who lives in a chair. I know that most times we always say we would love to help, we'd love to give in an extra hand and understand how it is for someone who's living with a disability. So the best way to do it is to put yourself in those situations. So today I'm going to spend the whole day in that situation. Let's explore. let me learn. You guys know I'm not disabled. But the whole experience of going to a shop, I'm not going to lie, at first I thought, okay, fine, I'm just going to see if people are going to be able to help me. I was very surprised at the fact that as I was struggling, getting into that door was not easy. And also because it's not straight, it's not surfaced. These are things that you don't realize when you're walking by foot, that this place is not surfaced. But the minute I got into a shop, I was trying to get, getting to buy the sweets and getting to buy the packet of chips. And I asked this guy to help me, and he helped me. And I was getting, as I was buying the sweets, and this lady offered to help me. I was like, okay, cool. I'm getting the cool drink, and this guy's offering to help me as well. And I'm like, wait. Now, this is not what I expected. Why must I always, you need to be dependent on everybody? At first, it's like, okay, I'm sure people want to help because, people actually want to do something. The community at large does want to help, but they don't know how, which is the best thing to do is just to, help push you or help get things from you that are a bit on far and stuff. We decided to go to a school as Geleza Nathi, and we were visiting a school, got out of the car, and it was like, okay, so now what? I have to go up the stairs to get into the office. One of the teachers came by and he apologized to me. He was like, I'm sorry, but, I'm very sorry. Although the only reason that we do not cater for people like this, which I didn't like, we don't cater for people like this. What do you mean like this? And he was saying it's because our kids and our teachers, there's no one who's in a chair. Fair enough. But what about me as a parent or as a sibling or as a relative to someone who's in that school? I have to say the most challenging one was being able to get a taxi, because obviously I wanted to just experience the whole life. So I wanted to get a taxi and see how someone who's in a chair or just someone who's physically challenged, how do they move from one place to the other? And I waited for a taxi, and this guy did stop. It was actually like the first taxi that I stopped. So he was willing to help, but I also don't know if maybe it came across because we are Geleza Nathi and we're doing this. That's why maybe he helped us, which shouldn't be the case. But he did help us. And for another thing that happened is once I got into the taxi, as I was getting off, and I was like, thank you. He's like, all in all, I feel that, just summarizing it up, I feel that the people in our communities are willing to help. It's just that resources are not there. I'm not gonna blame any, particular someone in power for it, but I just feel like there's not enough resources. Right here where I am now, there's no place where I can just roll down to get onto the, to get to the robots and just walk nicely. I have to always be with someone. I think this has actually opened my eyes in a whole new level.
I think getting good discussion with the GN clan right here in studio. So ladies, Nijan. Sharp. So the topic here today, it's integrating people living with disabilities in our community. Do you think as people, because I feel like the topic, it's a bit backdated, but that's my own opinion. But
I think for a start, when we as citizens of the country, we should not look at disabled people as people that are unable to do things. And in order to help them, we need to have facilities and resources that are able to cater for their needs. For example, in transport systems, they should cater for each and every one of their customers. People that are in wheelchairs, paraplegics, they should have an area where they can be seated, where they will be able to get on and get off the transport and stuff like that.
Because with a lot of buses, public buses, there's not enough spaces unless we double deck. That's where you'd find someone on a chair, which I don't think it's actually safe, because you need a safety belt. Like rear bias, there is actually a spot for people with disabled people in chairs, which you can actually strap on a belt so you are safe most of the time. What do you think needs to happen as a country for us to move forward and everybody, because we celebrate equality as a country and we're not even there yet? So what needs to happen?
I think it's all about looking at the word equality. Equality means not being treated with any exception. No matter who you are, I think it's a question of which pattern of fun. Because at the end of the day, what that person can do is what I can do. So since we can do the same thing, we must be treated with no exception. As in, people should be treated equally. It's a question of people realizing that we need to include these people in society as they're also like us. It's a question of just opening our arms to them and accepting them as one of our own, since we're all human beings at the end of the day.
Beautiful point right there. So, Edo, you, daily basis, what challenges do you face?
Yo, there's a lot of challenges, Mbuya. But the thing is, the challenges start with the attitude. You know, there's a question that I like to ask. And but before I even go there, I want to just say, which I agree with you. It's not just, it's functioning. We need to accept that people living with disabilities are fully functioning people. We've got the potential to also make a contribution when it comes to the economy of SA as well. So we need to change that type of an attitude. And then the question that I like to ask is, Mbuya, why don't you find a door like starting up here?
Yeah, why?
Why don't you ever find a door starting up here? Because then people wouldn't be able to use it to go in. Same thing. If you are able to make a building and make sure that it is fully accessible for everybody, people that are able-bodied, people that are maybe not using crutches, even not forgetting also people that are blind as well or deaf. If you're able to make sure that when you make something, when you make a structure, you're able to make sure that it is perfect for those that are able-bodied, then why can you not make sure that it is also perfect for those living with disabilities? It's not that difficult. It's just deciding that, look, we want to make sure that everybody is accommodated. And that's all that SA has to do. They have to realize that people living with disabilities are no longer those type of people that are sitting in the room for the whole day and waiting for somebody to bring them food. We're not that anymore, man. This is the new SA, and we should start treating it like that.
And you're actually showing people that you fleeked up. How do you wake up each and every day and say, I will inspire people because you're such an inspiration?
I say, where there's a wheel, there's a way. That's all that I love saying. So I've got 4 wheels. There's always a way.
Well, the poll question here today, ihamba something like this. How do you integrate people living with disabilities in your community? Twitter at GN_SABC1 and Facebook. It is Geleza Nathi. Get talking, man. Right now, guys, getting a good clip here. This is one person who touched their cell phone or shoot a story, which is happening around their community. As we're going to go to one about
I'm doing grade 12 Congo Dia High in Nice. I ndihlala notata ne-stepmother sami. Uyafana nabanye abantu ngoba mina ndazixelela uba ndinomndeni enguye. I-disability mandiyithathe ndiyibeke emva ndenze le nto ndifuna uyenza. Ngoba xa uzixelela uba into awufuni ukuyenza soze ukwazi ukuyenza, kodwa ukuzixelela uba into ethile uzawuyenza ngeqanda ukuthi seyifuna wakho ukuthi zikhona ii-challenges ndandizifeyisa ngondandimncinci. Xa ukhulayo ngumntana into ziyenzeka. Abanye abantwana babona uba indlela le ukhula ngayo uba unjani, uzelwe unje, awufani nabo, baye bancithe ngolo hlobo. Umntana xa ekhulayo akadibananga nokuncitha ngendlela adalwe ngayo. So yenye yee-challenges endidibana nazo.
Abantu abaphila ngedisability ngabaphatha kakuhle ngoba abanye abantu abaphila ngedisability zikhona izinto abangakwazi uzenzela zona, abafuna uncedo kuzo.
Njengoba benditshilo uba indlela le mna ndizixelele ngayo andikwazi ukukhupha komnye umntu ndithi umntu ethile andifani naye, emntwini ethile andifani naye. Phaya esikolweni ndingumntana esikolo ngolu hlobo njengabanye abantwana besikolo. So phaya esikolweni andiyiboni indlela uba nditreatwa bad napha esikolweni.
I actually like what Edward said during the discussion. It starts with your attitude lapha emakhaya ukuthi wena mawuvuka ekuseni utshelana umhlaba ukuthi mina as Edward, mina as uMboyi ukuthi what am I going to give back to the universe on that particular day. Khona manje guys ngene ku-clip yethu yesibili sibone ukuthi bona namhlanje bakhuluma ngani.
I was not born like this. I was born straight, but there was an accident that happened, and then that's when I found myself like this, just being disabled. On my leg, my right leg is I'm limping because of my right leg. It's very stiff. It gets sore a lot. Even when I walk, I get so tired when I walk every time. At school, I can't play netball. I can't run like others.
Lando yokuba angafani nabanye abantwana iyamsebenza kakhulu. Noba akatsho uyanqwenwa ufana nabanye abantwana ahambe njengabanye abantwana.
I'm not giving up. I'm strong enough to say that I'm I will get helped soon, but then I love who I am.
I have a challenge for zonke ikolo la eNingizimu Africa ukuthi again, even though you don't have a person living with disability in your school, but the challenge in ukuthi involve people around the community, because in your community there are people living with disability. Ukuthi involve ama sports which disabled people can play them, and ukuthi ba include zonke izinto ezenza. And if right there at home you are different is good. Always know that, because abanye abantu bayafana, wena ke you different. There's something special about you. Ke if you ufuna ukufana nabo, hit us on Twitter and on Facebook. Use a cellular phone and shoot stories and send them right here to Geleza Nathi. But it's time for me to love and leave you. Remember that you're always valid.
You know, Gutumbuye and the GN clan always have a lot to say, but today, you know, they were saying something very, very important. It's something that is worth listening to and remembering. But right now, let's go for a quick air break. And Miss Mbuya, we're going to be getting some mathematical muti from the Math Sangoma.
Geleza Nathi. Geleza Nathi.
Rubia's Nafanuni Geleza Nathi, which is your favorite entertainment show, Konlana Gu SABC 1. Now, as you all know, the month of May is celebrated as Africa Month, and we are celebrating young Africans who are doing great things with their lives. And today's young African of the day is Khukhuntle Paladi. She is 20 years old from Botswana, and Khukhuntle started her own company called Khukhuntle Young Paladi Pillar of Hope Projects. Now, it was established in the year 2000 when she was only 5 years old, and it has been running successfully for the past 15 years, primarily and fully sponsored by her parents. Now, she is a philanthropist, a motivational speaker. She's a human rights activist and a child and gender activist and advocate. Khukhuntle, we definitely salute you right there, and we say that you are amazing. Now, if you guys at home know any other amazing young Africans that are doing great things, then please make sure you let us know right there on our Facebook page or anywhere else. Who do you think is an amazing young African? Right now, Masamige Sotola, our first learner question. Are you ready? Let's go.
Asasa khona la endaweni ngihlezi no dikele kai?
Dikele kai?
Lena ke teng. O dula ko kae wena mona?
Ke dula ko block 5 ka Community Street.
Oh, okay. What's alang ko block 5?
Ko block 5 ho ngata phethisela batho ba tletse le fashion. Batho ba phela bophelo ba bona, and then the life is interesting.
Interesting how? O tseba phela ka fashion ye jwang?
Then now the model fashion, they are wearing the crop tops with the shorts, so that's all they do.
When opera crop top
I know I don't wear those things because it seems like I didn't wear when I wear them.
Oh, okay. So Oring Pota Alpha, teacher back in studio.
Please explain how to draw a cubic function.
Cubic function. Now, Ada, you have no idea, girls. To pass maths paper 1, you need 45 marks out of 150. That's 30%. Okay, 30% is the pass mark. Do you agree? Now, 45 marks of that to pass, today's lesson can give you 15 of those marks. Can you imagine? 10 to 15. So if you just do today's lesson and you master it, you've already got 10 to about 15 out of the 45 you need to pass. So if you got now 10 marks, let's say, or 15 marks, you only have 30 marks left of all the other topics. Imagine that. So that's why I want you to bring some paper, bring a pen. I want you to sit with a maths and Goma, and let's sketch the graph of a cubic function. Okay, it's this easy. Now follow, write this down, guys. You've got to get these 10 to 15 marks. Okay, sketch the graph of x cubed. You see 2x cubed minus 6x minus 4. You've done straight lines. Remember, girls, straight lines, parabolas. Now in matric, we do x cubed. And very simply put, let me just show you something quickly here. When you take a positive number next to x cubed, the graph looks like this. Almost like two parabolas. Can you see there? And what happens is it's got a little point of inflection there, so that goes up and down. But if there was a negative 2x cubed, if there was a negative there, the graph goes down like that, you see. So there's two types of graphs. And the one is sad, the one part is sad and happy, or happy and sad. We'll talk about that later on in the lesson. But how do we sketch this? Now the first thing, like any good old-fashioned graph, we know its shape, we know it looks like this first piece. But the most important thing is, what do we need for graphs? Remember, 15 marks out of 150, it's a gift. Okay, sketch the graph of this. We need y-intercept, we need x-intercept, and with these graphs, we need what we call the stationary or the turning points. It's where the graphs turn. These guys are called turning points, if you remember, and that's called a point of inflection. I'll talk about point of inflection later, but we need the turning points of the graph. Okay, so what's the first thing that we do? Y-intercept, remember, fx is y, so the y-intercept is where we let the x's be naught. Now, would you agree if all those x's go to naught, 2 times naught cubed minus 6 times naught, that all vanishes. So if x is naught, y is negative 4. Is that cool? Yes. Okay, and remember, fx is always y. Okay, the f of x is y. Okay, so that's easy. It's always the number on the end there. So that gives you your first mark. Do you see there? What a pleasure. Okay, if x is naught, you can actually plug in the naught. Look at that. If you plug it in, if you're not certain, all of those are naught, and you're left with negative 4. Now, remember, what have we done in the past? We looked at the x-intercept. We let y be naught. Do you agree? Y-intercept, let x be naught. An x-intercept, let y be naught. You can almost do like one of those funky rap songs. Yeah, you know. We're going to do the cubic function. Yeah. Okay, you got it there. All right, x-intercept, we let y be naught. Now look at this, guys. It's the cubic graph. Okay, I'm going to divide everybody by 2. We make life easier for ourselves. Divide by 2. Now, how on earth do we solve a cubic equation? We did that in about 2 lessons ago. Remember when we have to get that romantic, that smiley face method? Now watch this. Remember how we did it. Now the next 6 marks comes from this. We're going to test plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. These are factors of 2, numbers that go into there. Now, of those 4 guys, the cubic equation is looking for a husband. Okay, and we're going to put them through a test. Do you agree, girls? We're going to do that. Now, watch here. So we say, come here, booyah, 1. Try x equals 1. Okay, we try x equals 1. And you put him through the test. So you substitute him inside here. You say 1 cubed minus 3 times 1 minus 2. And let's see if we're going to get naught. Okay, what is 1 cubed? 1. Then it's minus 3 minus 2. Does not equal to naught. 1 is not a good choice for a husband. Okay, so let's have a look at negative 1. So let's try x equals negative 1. Let's see. Negative 1 cubed minus 3 times negative minus 2. What does that give us? Negative 1 plus 3 minus 2. Now, negative 1 plus 3 is 2 minus 2 is naught. Do you see that there? Now, the moment you've got naught there as your answer, you've got your husband. Okay, x equals minus 1 is your husband. Okay, that is the solution, your solution to life's problems. Marry. Okay, all right. Now, x equals minus 1. Then if you bring that across, now look at that. If you've got x equals minus 1, if you bring it across, you get a factor. Do you agree if you marry a guy, girls, he's going to be a serious factor in your life? Okay, all right. Now, what we do is, remember how the smiley face works, is you're going to go x plus 1. All right, you're going to write that there. Now, look at this. You've got x cubed. Now, remember in that previous lesson, we've got naught x squared minus 3x minus 2. Remember, we've got a naught x squared there. We don't have that there. That's very important. Now, the trick with the smiley face method is you write the factor down, if you remember, and then you need a little trinomial here. And then you said, if you remember the lesson, you said x cubed divided by x gives you x squared. The first term is going to be x cubed. Now look at this. X times x squared is x cubed. So you sorted with the first. Now the last is negative 2. Now what is negative 2 divided by 1 is going to be negative 2. Do you agree? What is 1 times negative 2? Is negative 2. So you've dealt with the first and the last terms. And then if you remember from a previous lesson, we've got mx. We've got a missing middle term. And then what did we do? We're looking for the x squared terms. So we start by doing a little smiley face. If you remember that lesson, guys. So we say 1 times x squared is 1x squared. And then we've got x times mx is mx squared. And once you've got those two, there's your smiley face. Can you see Addo smiling at us there? All right, there. Smiling. There we go. We've got our smiley face. And then that equals 0x squared. Remember, it's the missing middle term, or the missing x squared term. So you go the factor, and then you go x squared minus 2. You simply say x times x squared is x cubed, and 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. And then if you divide if you drop the x squared, so we've got 1 plus m is 0. This was in that one lesson back in time there that we did, okay? And then you solve for m. You bring that across. And look what you have. You've got x plus 1 there. And what is your m going to be? It's negative 1x minus 2. And you've got it. You've actually factorized. So you can see how the cubic equation with that smiley face comes in. So let's have a look. What have we done? We let y be 0. We divided. We got our factor. And we had x squared minus 1x minus 2. We did that using the smiley face. 6 marks. You all know how to do that. It's easy. You could also use what your teachers use as long division if you like. And the rest is easy now, because what we do is we factorize, and we then get our x values. X is equal to minus 1. It's a repeated bracket, and then x equals 2. So those are where the graph cuts the x-axis. Now, what do you know about stationary points? Okay, there's the x-intercepts there. The stationary points, the turning points, you get the derivative. Because what is going to happen, if you remember this carefully, at a turning point, the gradient is 0. Do you see that there? So, in other words, the gradient is the derivative. So you get f prime x. Bring down the 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract 1. The derivative of negative 6x is negative 6, and the negative 4 falls away. At the turning point, what happens? You get 0. You put that equal to 0. As you normally do, the derivative equals 0. Divide by 6. And then you've got 0 equals x squared minus 1. So what do we do? X is plus or minus 1. How did I do that quickly? If you remember, you bring the 1 to, you can say, well, x squared minus 1 is 0. X squared is 1. So x must be plus or minus 1. Now you've got two values there. Remember, the graph looks like this as well. It looks something like that. So we've got two turning points. That would be where x is negative 1, and that's where x is 1. Now, how do we get the y values? Wow, I wish we had more time, Ada. You plug in negative 1 into the original equation. 2 times negative 1 cubed minus 6 times negative 1 minus 4. And you work that out. I'm going to do that quickly. So we get that to be 0. Okay, so we simply work that out. And then you plug in 1 into the original equation again, and you land up with negative 8. So what are the stationary points? Negative 1 for x 0, minus 1, minus 8. So with all that information, we can then draw the cubic graph. Okay, I'm going to come on to points of inflection in a moment, in the next segment, but have a look at the graph. What we've got here, if you look at it, is there's our x-intercepts minus 1, 0, 2 and 0. Remember, we did there, and then we plug our that's our y-intercept, and then we put our negative 1, 0, the two turning points. You draw the graph, and you've got your cubic, and you've got a lot of marks here. All right, so stay with us, because what I want to pursue is the points of inflection in the next segment. Okay.
Thank you very much for that right there, Mark. Because of all of his help, we will have 15 marks in the bag. Right now, let's go for a quick ad break. And Ms. Buya, of course, we're going to be bringing you fun and games. See you right now.
Geleza Nathi. Geleza Nathi.
Sesibuyile manje kuGeleza Nathi, and it's time for us to have some fun and games with Mbuyi and the GN clan. But before we even go there, let me just remind you, Geleza Nathi is your show. So tell us what's happening in your world by sending us maybe like you can pick us a selfie on our Twitter handle, or you can even post something really cool on Facebook telling us about your favorite teacher or even your friends at schools. Funa ukwazi ukuthi what's happening in your world, so please make sure nitanichiri kwamanyana nepoka social network. Mara zinandichima chari we're back Kambuyi, so let's go straight right there.
Lebitso la ka ke Mangaliso Piake. Team ya rona ke Team A. Ha go bona jena ga goka. What you see is what you get.
My name is Phumi ke Team A. Rona re tlo ba hlokolosa.
My name is Monica. Mo ifane se ga tsohlane. Rona re le group A. Re tlo ba etsa pele le morao. Lebitso la ka ke Makilibone. Rona grouping ya rona Team B re tlo ba etsa quiz.
Na lebitso la ka ke Shio. Sponsor ka ke Matkhuntu. Team ya rona ke Team B. Re tlo ba Kapike.
Nna ka itse ke andile ja man nna ke ka Team B and wa bona lana for go ba shika.
Rearabetso is where we at today, and the service la game here to interesting. Asibona ukuthi namhlanje sidlala ini nokuthi sidlaliwa kanjani.
Ayadlala, this is not a horror movie, but it might be for the losing team. It's time for GN Jigsaw. Now, it's simple. Each team will start the game outside a line of 4 hula hoops. Both teams are given the opportunity to answer the same question, and a correct answer gets them into the next hula hoop, where they will pick up a bag with pieces of the GN Jigsaw puzzle. Now, when a team makes it to the other side of the last hoop, they get a chance to construct the Geleza Nathi logo with all the pieces that they have collected along the way. First team to construct the GN logo walks away with their lives. No, Ngadlala, it's just victory, but the loser will be left in pieces. Asdaleni.
Give my own game in. Team A. Oh, okay, but Team A. Team A seems more confident because and I'm actually rooting for Team A. So let's step into the yellow hoops. Kenang? Yeah, go fella. Yellow hoops. So your first question, guys, is how many x-intercepts does the graph of a cubic function have at most? Who are you supporting? Nina and support the band.
3x intercepts.
3x
intercepts.
Okay, 3x intercept. I don't know if that's the correct answer. So Nina Nitian's answer, Ini?
Yeah, we think it is 3x intercept.
So it's 3. Oh, okay. Not TREE.
THREE.
Oh, it's the THREE, not the TREE. Not Ingi?
Sefard.
Not Sefard. Okay, let me check the correct answer. It is 3x intercept. Meaning good together. They both correctly, meaning good to you just have to jump into the next hoop. So your question is, how many times will a cubic graph cut the y-axis?
I think
You think?
I'm sure.
You sure?
Yeah.
One time. It will cut one time.
It will only cut one time. It's a mistake. It is snapped one time. It is slice one time. Okay. So the correct answer, it is only one. So both teams have their puzzle bags. Let's move over to the next hoop. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good.
Yeah, so good.
That is so good. I can't believe Geleza Nathi is here shooting us right here. So, okay, let's move over to the next question. If an x-intercept is repeated, what else do you know about this point? If an x-intercept is repeated, what else do you know about this point?
Turning point.
What turning point?
The x-intercept.
Yes, the x-intercept. So
stationary point.
What stationary?
The x-intercept. The stationary point.
Okay, guys, answer one. And about the x-intercept should be stationary point. So let me see the correct answer. It is the x-intercept will be a stationary point, or the x-intercept will be a turning point. Meaning good both teams are correct. So right now, as the shege, fagi baseline ziwege. So the question is, if the cubic graph is increasing, what do you know about its gradient? If the cubic graph is increasing, what do you know about its gradient?
It's positive.
It's positive. So Lona?
The opposite of positive, which would be negative.
Negative of positive.
Okay. 2 seconds. Gather your answer. 1, 2.
Opposite of negative, which is positive.
Okay, that's your answer.
Yes.
You sticking to it?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, the correct answer, it is positive, making both teams correctly. So, in 3, 2, 1, start assembling the Geleza Nathi logo. Guys, Geleza should be Geleza Nathi. Team A is just placing. If the puzzle fits, they leave it there. If it doesn't fit, they scrape it off. Team B actually Bonavani strategy. So Team B is currently in the lead. Are you gonna let Team B win? Therefore, work. I matter Team B yamata. Team B yamata. No man. Team A, we're not about this life of yours trying to chase us. 80% is done of Team B. And 30% is done of Team A. Beggar, they're quitting. Do not quit, you're still in the game. I can smell the winners. Okay. Face it to... No, work out. Should we give them time
No extra time. This is not penalty. No extra time.
So the winners for today, it is Team B. Because Nyabandu today was the first team to finish up. You saw the victory dance. Walolo, walala. So as person up, I want to find out from you guys, what was the challenge?
The pieces tsa rona mana ba di utswitse.
Mara ke re tsamana di felletse.
Mara khona ne re fumana no bana ba tlisa no. Ah, it's a new one.
Team A are sore losers in life. So let's cross over to the studio while in back console. Because Baba, shaky.
Yeah, Bafetu. Anumbuyi, when at the beginning of the game, when I would say you're rooting for Team A, ha! To you too, right there. And Team B definitely deserves that victory dance. But right now, it's time for us to hear from Abanganbe from Facebook. Let's see what they have to say about the poll question. And the question was, how do you integrate people living with disability in the community? That's a very good question. So let's check out our Facebook comments. The first one comes from Utumi, and Utumi, I think we treat them like everyone else, and public places such as malls have been made disability friendly. That's true. Making sure all the structures are friendly for people living with disabilities. Maybe it's a ramp, but just making sure even in the workplace, there's all the apps that's needed for somebody else that is living with a disability. Let's check out the next one. And the next one comes from Umenzi. And then I think we have built ramps at our schools so that people in wheelchairs can get around. That's very nice of you, Menzi. And it's actually what you're supposed to do. So make sure all the schools follow your example. Thank you guys, and make sure that you keep on commenting. In your community to make sure that people living with disabilities are integrated. But right now, let's go back to Umbuyi to hear e-learner question number 2.
Well, sisalana area to high school in Welcome ngihlezi nentokazi enhle kakhulu kunjani sisi?
Sikhona
nami ngiyaphila. So ke awungitshela ubani igama?
uMasabata Mkhudi.
Mina nguMasabata.
I'm born on Sunday.
Oh, so you're born on Sunday?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what's nice about being born on Sunday?
You will attend church like normally. You never skip the church.
And then the Sunday lunch, obviously, 7 colors.
Yes.
Bashapa pumpkin, beetroot.
There's no way I can skip it.
So, King Terminato Valena Moko Rearabeta High School.
Everything is on call, it's on order. There's nothing problem.
The homework is yet.
Yeah, the homework is yet. Then everything is good.
Oh, okay. So another good thing, is the question which you're going to ask the teacher back into the
Please explain the increase and decrease function as well as the point of inflection.
Yes, points of inflection, guys. We spoke about that, which is great, and increasing. Have a look at the graph that we just drew in the previous lesson. A point of inflection is where it changes from being sad to happy or happy to sad. Like in the game, you saw the team A was very happy in the beginning, and they became very sad and quite cross. And also another interesting thing, if you notice with this, where you've got an x-intercept that's on the x-axis, that also becomes a turning point. It's actually repeated. There's actually 2 x-intercepts, x equals -1, x equals -1. But anyway, point of inflection, I'll show you the Geleza Nathi way. This is so much easier than the second derivative. It makes more sense. Watch this. You have here your 2 turning points. Do you agree? Now watch how easy it is. If I want to get in the middle, I must get the average. Do you agree? So what I do is I take the x values of the turning points. It is so simple. You don't even need the second derivative test, which most people don't understand. Now watch this, girls, you're going to understand this. Add up the x values. So in other words, we take -1, that guy, and we add the 1. Do you see that there? And if you divide by 2, let's see what happens. Well, -1 plus 1 is 0, divided by 2, which is 0. Now, if you look at it, that's where x is 0 is. Now, if I go here and I work out what my y value is, now that actually, very interestingly, is the y-intercept. It doesn't always work like that. I'm going to do another example quickly where the point of inflection is not. But the point of inflection is where the graph goes from being sad, do you see that there, to being happy. You see, that's a point of inflection. Okay, you got it there. That is a point of inflection. Okay, now people watch this. Now that's the whole concept of increasing and decreasing. But now, so there we've got our, if we look at increasing, I'm going to go to another graph quickly here. Have a look at this one. Now here's another cubic. You'll notice that the point of inflection is over there. Okay, now don't worry about that. Now, where the graph increases, it's where it's going up. Okay, now if you look at it, if you go to the turning points, have a look there. The graph is increasing if you're going up. As you move from left to right, if you go up, in other words, for all the values of x to the left of 1, you see there's 1 and there's 3. If you're to the left of 1, your graph is going up. Do you see? Then it goes down from 1 all the way to 3, and then it increases again to the right of 3. Do you see that there? So decreasing would be where the graph from 1 to 3. Do you see that there? It's going down. So it goes up there. Look at that. Goes up. And there it's going up for those values. And decreasing is where it's going down. Do you see there? Okay, and something that they asked last year, which is quite interesting, and I think you should know, they might say for which values of x is the graph concave up. There's a new thing that came in, concave up and concave down. Now, concave down is when you're feeling sad. Okay, so that's going to be down. And this concave up is like that. So you concave up, you're smiling, and you bring in the point of inflection. So in other words, concave up will be to the right of 3, or the right of 2, should I say, and then to the left of 2 is where you concave down. You're very sad there, you see. And that's something new. So that hopefully introduces or revises point of inflection, increasing, decreasing, but your point of inflection talks concave up, concave down.
Thank you very much for that, Mark. I think that if you practice, you will definitely get all the marks that you need. Thank you so much for that awesome lesson. Let's go straight for another ad break. And when we come back, we're going to speak to Sis Matt, of course, the lady that knows everything that's good for us.
Geleza Nathi. Geleza Nathi.
Welcome back to Geleza Nathi. Well, it's time for us to get some good advice, so listen carefully to what Sis Matt has to say.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to it. It's Monday morning. It's the start of a brand new week. And as you know, you're chilling with me, Sis Matt, Geleza Nathi. Now, today, guys, we're going to be talking about how you can accommodate disabled people into daily communal activities. Now, we need to remember that disabled people are only disabled, guys. It just means that, you know, they don't have certain limbs or they can't do certain things as well as we can. But that doesn't make them any less human. And the truth of the fact is that they really do want to be involved in communal activities. Now, I'm not saying that you now have to take this person bungee jumping, because that is very risky and also slightly ridiculous if you think about it. But there's small things that you guys can do. If you guys are going to the park, you can bring them with you. If you're going to go to the mall just to hang out for a bit, you can always take them with you. The most important thing to do is make sure that you will be able to accommodate this person. So say you're going to a mall, make sure that there will be wheelchair exits and entries. If you're going to the park, make sure that there's the same thing. And also maybe if the person you're leading is blind, make sure that you will have someone there to help them, you know, get across the cobblestones or get across the park. Just make it a little bit easier for them. But remember, guys, people also have their own dreams and they also have their own wants and needs. So maybe just ask them. Say, you know, what do you feel like doing today? And they'll be able to give you ideas of what it is that they want to do. And remember, it is really difficult in the beginning because you probably feel like, oh, I'm not sure what to do. Should I help this person? Should I not? Practice makes perfect. The more time you spend with this person in your life, you'll find that it actually gets a lot easier. So make sure that you make an effort for the people around you, guys. And remember that you must be the friend that you want other people to be to you as well. So be a good person, make sure that you make an effort, and, you know, just get along with everybody around you. Make sure that you take everybody neatly, nice time, nonke, and be happy. That's all from me, guys. I love you very much. See you next time. Goodbye.
Sabonga Sis Matt. That was definitely good advice as always. But right now, it's time for us to find out what your homework question for today is. I hope that you guys have got your pen and paper and you're listening carefully to Mark. Mark, do you have your homework question?
Yeah, boy, here it is. Sketch the graph of this cubic function, guys. I'll be on Facebook 7 to 8 tonight, and I'm going to discuss it in detail. 15 marks. You must get this right.
they're going to get this right, man. They've got the Matt Sangoma on their back. They've got the whole of the Geleza Nathi crew with you right there. So I know that you will get these 15 marks so that you can pass your mathematics exam. Now, it has been a great time, and it is time for us to say goodbye. Tomorrow we will be back on your screens with, of course, the best in physical science. And then we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. You know, sometimes your grannies have told you, do not pass something with your left hand. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we're going to be talking about superstitions, and I know that already you've got all these crazy things coming up or coming right there in your memory. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow and you tell us all the superstitions that you know about Friday the 13th and everything crazy. It's been great, Buffet. Thank you to Mbuye and the GN clan, and thank you to the GN clan right here in studio. It has been awesome chilling with these guys and chilling with you. Mwah. Have a lovely Monday. Bye.
Hey, what's up? Hey. It's 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Mondays to Fridays. Hey. What's good for you today, man? Look, I got a lot of books, I'm stacking paper. Trying to be an accountant, stacking paper. Geographical mind, I'm smashing craters. And Geleza Nathi got my bag, yeah, it's major. Every morning when I wake, it's on. There's a world waiting to be taken on. Brings a funda till the break of dawn. But thank God the Geleza Nathi is on. But it's a